Bum 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 bum. The Peter Like Show. Bum 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 bum. All right, one of the best weekends I've had in a while, and just in time. Tomorrow, or depending on where you're viewing this, tomorrow is the 14th of July, and some psychologists and statisticians have shown that July 14th is statistically the happiest day of the year. I can't remember the exact formula. I think they surveyed a lot of people. And what a coincidence that I had a lot of good stuff happen these last couple of days. I'm just about to unveil something. I found my missing passport. Now, I'm actually re recording this because YouTube gets very finicky if you start showing. I wanted to show off all the visa stamps on my passport, and YouTube doesn't like that for some reason. I'll just have to talk about what's in my passport. But I finally found the passport. What had happened is, I hope flashing the cover, the cover of the passport doesn't trigger a warning. What had happened was, it was in the hotel I was at all along. And it was stuck in between the bed and the wall, and it kind of blended in. The wallpaper was like a bluish green. And anyway, kind of interesting how I found the passport. I had asked Mary Curry, I try to communicate with her a lot, to bring back the passport, please, because I want to visit her granddaughter. I hope she accepts a rain check for me because now I can't for a reason I'll get to in a moment. I asked her to bring the passport to me and I'll go visit her granddaughter and her remains as well. Her remains are in Paris. Now, they're so dangerous to visit, you actually have to sign a waiver to visit. And I drew a picture of what I thought the passport looked like. And I took one day the vacuum cleaner in the hotel was out in the hallway. I took some dust out of there. Household dust, believe it or not, contains a small amount of polonium because when radon decays, it tends to get positively charged and stick to the dust in the house. And I wrapped it around my drawing of my passport. I have a photographic memory where all the visa stamps are and all that. Wrapped it all up. I said a prayer and I burnt it. And I went outside and I waved the ashes toward Poland, a little bit north and a little bit west, right? And I waved the smoke from burning the polonium in the direction of Mary Curry. And I asked her to just give me the passport back. I'll visit your granddaughter. And just as I do that, it turns up. A hotel called me, and sure enough, it turned up. I was going to go to the embassy tomorrow. Thank God I don't have to do that. My aunt and uncle were going to help me with that, and that's good. I got to connect with them while dealing with this, so it wasn't the end of the world. A lot of sentimental. I can't show the stamps on here because YouTube will delete it. But I had 2 trips to Taiwan. I had 2 trips to Europe. And then my last trip to Taiwan, I was here for my grandmother's funeral. My grandmother was born shortly before Mary Curry passed away. And so I asked my grandmother, go talk to that old lady you used to know when you were a kid, and ask her to set me on a blind date with one of her descendants. And not long after that, I decided to email Mary Curry's granddaughter, Helene, and I got a very good response. She's still very active. University of Paris. She's 97 years old, still very active with the university. And I talked to her about some chemistry experiments that I did. Didn't tell her about the passport prayer thing, though, but she knew about the household dust, and I actually used some acid to concentrate the radioisotopes of the household dust one time, and I told her about that. And I so I was here for the funeral. I went back to the United States. Now, it was during that trip that I really started to Peter dislike American culture. When I got back home to the United States in January this year, the first person to welcome me back home was very hostile to me. what had happened was I had literally just stepped off the plane, and so I had accidentally wandered into a part of the airport that I shouldn't. I was pushing a luggage cart. I didn't realize you can't push that through the TSA. Now, he could have just very gently told me, hey, we like to keep the lines short. Why don't you leave your cart here? Instead, he barks, sir, you can't bring your cart there. I mean, it's 6 a.m., 7 a.m. in the morning. A lot of people in that line are in connecting flights. I think he should know better. And when I'm in the United States, I never know when the next shoe is going to drop and something like this is going to happen. It often takes me hours to recover from somebody doing that to me. I am autistic. Now, you might say I need to handle my autism better, but you know what? 3% of us are autistic. Do you remember 5 years ago when there was this one condition that might kill 0.3% of the population? What did we do about it? I think everybody's life was appended by it. And yet 3%, 10 times more, and we're not going to have some training about that and just be nicer to each other. Like here in Taiwan, if that had happened here in Taiwan, the end result would probably be what I suggested, right? Hey, we like to keep the lines short. Why don't you leave your cart here? Right? Do you need a hand or something? That's probably what would happen here. In fact, I'm going to give it a try when I leave Taiwan because I believe I'm right about that. I'm going to record and give it a try. But after I went home after my grandmother's funeral, I really started to Peter dislike the United States for that reason. And not long after that, Mary Curry did set me on a blind date with her granddaughter, and it's just over the email at the moment. I hope to go see her at some point. But I hope Mary Curry will accept a rain check because I went to a speed dating event yesterday. A lot of success because of cultural, just general acceptance here in Taiwan. People have much better attention spans and all that. I got a month left of this trip. I'll probably go see Mary Curry and her granddaughter during the winter time. I hope to go to both her childhood home and her home where she became famous, and visit her remains, visit Helene Curry, and maybe I'll inherit. Mary Curry had discovered radium, and President Harding, 1923, had given her 1 gram of radium for her to continue her research. And I hope that's still with the family. I hope to inherit it. So I'll leave this as an exercise to the viewer. How much of that radium is still active today? It's been 100 years. Radium has a half-life of 1,600 years. How much of it is still active? Now here's an even tougher exercise. Out of the 100 grams of radium-226, how much of each daughter product is there? How much radium-226 is there? How much radon-222 and lead-210 and polonium-210? Those are probably going to be the big ones, right? The other ones are kind of short-lived. And obviously the final lead-206 may not be final, but final for the purposes of the time scales we're talking about, right? I'll leave that as an exercise to the viewer. But I hope to inherit that little chunk of radium, make a little piece of jewelry out of it, glowing rock and all that. And it has a negative value right now. Radium, I think, is the only element that has a negative price at the moment. Now, I wonder what happens, because if you inherit something, let's say Helene were to pass 10 years from now, right? And radium prices are still negative, and I really do hit it big with her, and I inherit it. When you inherit something, your cost basis gets adjusted based on the day you inherit it. So I wonder what happens if it's a negative price thing, right? Let's say it's worth negative $100,000 on the day I inherit it, and someday in my lifetime, radium becomes valuable again. People stop fearing radiation so much. Our nuclear energy becomes useful again, and now it's worth $300,000. I wonder if you end up having to pay tax on $400,000, or if it's just the $300,000. I wonder. I guess we could find out by looking at what happened with anybody who inherited oil 5 years ago. I guess that's the best way to fight out, right? But whether or not I have to pay tax on it, it'd be nice to play with anyway while I have it, right? I'll worry about those consequences later, right? All right. But anyway, thank you, Mary Curry, for bringing back the passport. Thank you for all those blind dates that you've been setting me on. That was a really good ask. My dad was very upset that I had asked my grandmother to talk to Mary Curry. And now when I tell him about the successes, he claims he was never upset about it. He was just confused. That definitely was not his sentiment back then. Anyway, yay, I almost want to wave the passport in front of the camera, but I worry that YouTube's going to delete it again. For some reason, you cannot show your passport. I'm going to have to just do a rendition of it, like draw a copy of it with all the Visa stuff so I could show you guys without getting YouTube to delete the video. I think they have an algorithm. I can't tell you how many times YouTube flags one of my videos and I appeal it and they deny and I'm like, gee, somebody just watch the fucking thing. I mean, I don't know if any of you guys are bloggers could feel that way about it. It's like nobody actually watches it. All right, please sing along, gesture, hit the like button, and pray for me. This is the Peter Like Show. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Like Show. Bum 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 bum.